Hey guys, it's Katie from scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and I know it's been a while since I've shared a Days of December memory album process video, but I thought I would share this one. This one actually has been recorded for quite a while, and you'll be able to tell by my nicely manicured nails here in a second. And then I have gone ahead and I've finished off the year, and I'll be posting that soon. So here you see me pulling out my box, and then I'm pulling out the layout bags for layout 10 and 11. Now I am going to do a little bit of changing around. So those four 3x4s over on the left that you can see of my instruction sheet, I'm not going to use those for the 21st. I'm going to use that 6x8 layout for the 21st instead, because I have a 4x6 photo I wanted to include. So I've put all those other little pieces back in the bag, and then I am going to start adhering everything down just like it shows in the instructions. And this is one of the things I loved about this Days of December album. It is done for you. Instructions are there, but it's not really necessary. You can change it up, and you guys have seen me do that on other videos. And so I just love adding my personal touch, but I also like just getting it done, getting the memories documented, and then I can put it away with our family albums. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the 21st and the 22nd. I am using the Intense Black ink. Again, I just love the crispness of that ink, as well as when I add shimmer brush here in just a second, it tends not to bleed as much. So for the holly, I've got the green apple and the candy apple for the berries. And again, I've just used the thin cuts that come with the stamp set to cut out just several hollies and bows and then those date circles. So for this 21st day, I am going to include a 4x6 photo, trimmed down just a little bit because I love to have that white border around my photos. So right here, I'm just trimming off all the little excess pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere down the date. Now I am making sure that I'm not adding adhesive to the portion of the 21 that hangs over where I will put my photo. So for my journaling lines, I have just pulled out my T-ruler and a journaling pen, and I'm just adding those lines. You guys have seen me do that before. And I'm loving that this album has my actual handwriting. If you follow my other videos, my other scrapbooking videos, you know that I like to type a lot of my journaling. But I know on this one, it's important to just kind of get it done, get those memories documented. And it's also important for my kids to see my handwriting, because I love looking back and seeing my grandparents' handwriting, or even my dad. I love when I find little snippets of something that he's written. It just brings back tons of memories. So right here, I'm just sorting the pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay everything down using tape adhesive. And then that black and white piece right there, that is actually one of our PML cards. PML is close to my heart's pocket scrapbooking, and I love that they come with 4x6 as well as the 3x4 sizes. And then the back is usually a landscaped version of the portrait version, if that makes sense. So I love using these. I'm not really a pocket scrapbooker, but I love using them as embellishments and just added elements to a layout. So I've trimmed down that photo of my brother and all of his nieces and nephews, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down onto that 4x6 photo place card, just so I can see some of that white border. Now that little 1/2-inch piece that's left over on the right side of that photo, I'm going to use a piece that is intended for something else. So I'll have to kind of make that up here in just a second. I'm going to glue it down and then also adhere down some more of that black and white PML card. Now I am making sure that I'm cutting from the same piece so the eye will easily go over to that right side. But then that way that left and right side are mimicked. So after I do that, I am going to, right here, I kind of get confused. And so I pull out my dates again, And for some reason, I was thinking I didn't have 22 already stamped, and then I quickly realized that. So I'm going to go ahead, while I have my ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp days 23 and 24, again in the intense black. And then all I do is on that 24, since it's solid, I seasoned it with my eraser, and then it stamps just a whole lot cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere, or actually add some shimmer brush to those little mittens that are hanging off the 22. So for the 23, you guys have seen me do this before. I'm just coloring all over there. And then on the 24th, I'm just adding some color to that little Santa hat. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down and add some journaling lines underneath that photo, again with my T ruler and journaling pen. So for the 24th, I'm going to go ahead and assemble one of those layouts, and then I'll come back to the 23rd. So for the 24th, it is just two 4x6 photo wells. And I'm just going to dovetail all these little pieces. Some are actual papers that have been cut down, and some are zip strips. So to dovetail, I just take my micro tip scissors, cut up the center, eyeballing it, and then cut from the corners to that center cut. And you get pretty much an accurate cut. It's okay for me, instead of trying to pull out my, my cutter and trying to actually measure it out. So I'm going to just adhere all these down. Now, I'm not going to add the photos on camera, but you'll see the photos in the still shots following this video. And then, so for the 23rd, we had family photos done since my oldest son and his girlfriend were down. And so I really wanted to include this oversized photo. Now I am going to cut it down to match all the rest of the memory protectors. It isn't going to go in a memory protector, but I don't want any portion of it to hang past the memory protectors, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull a memory protector out here and then kind of measure things up, make sure I'm cutting it so nothing hangs over. And then I am going to take my crop-a-dile and go ahead and punch the holes into the photo itself so I can put it into the album. So I've done that. I'm going to put all of that away, and then I'm going to attach this 23 to the bottom of that photo. So now I've got everything done. I am going to add some shimmer to that 21 and then pull out my enamel dots that came with the kit, and I'm going to add some enamel dots to a couple of the dates. So for the 21, I'm going to add 3 small candy apple enamel dots on that holly. And then for the 23rd, I'm just going to add a green enamel dot right there by the 3. There's like a star there, so I just added it in the middle of there. And then I'm going to pull out my album and go ahead and insert these into their memory protectors. So I like to pull the memory protectors out of the album. I just find that it's a whole lot easier to insert these pages in when I've got the freedom of those memory protectors being out. Now this one is a little snug, so instead of forcing it, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and cut it down. And that happens a lot when you have a lot of layers and bulk. So I'm going to insert that, and then for that other photo for the 24th, I'm just going to put all those little pieces in there until I print those photos and get them added. And you'll see here in just a second the still shots, the photos I decided to use. So here's a look at the album so far. I'm loving how it's coming together, and it's almost done. So here is a look at the still shots. Again, that family photo of us, I just love. And then there is the 24th. So thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing and signing up for notifications.